Hey guys, it's Pam. Let's talk about highlighters, shall we? With bullet journaling, I'm a little bit different than some other people. I actually just use a black pen and highlighter. In fact, I don't even use a bulleting system. A thing goes on the list, and when the thing is done, I highlight it off. So green highlighters tell me that the task is finished. So in my bullet journal and planning process, highlighters are kind of important. I have actually been using the Sharpie Clearview highlighters for about the past 2 or 3 years. And I've noticed a trend in the bullet journal community lately that everybody's using these pastel highlighters and markers, and their layouts are very beautiful. And so I wanted to give pastel highlighters a try, just to see if it would be something that I would enjoy, and if I could make it work in my process as well. So I actually started this adventure with the zebra Mildliners, because that seems to be what everybody was using. But when I had them in my hands and I started using them, I was actually a little disappointed. So, of course, true to my character, I ended up a little obsessed with highlighters. And that's why this review is actually a review of 11 different brands of highlighters. So once I had the chance to try a bunch of different highlighters and see them side by side and actually see which were pastel and which were not pastel, gave me a chance to pick out my favorite. So I wanted to share with you what I have discovered along the way, and hopefully it'll save you from buying 11 different brands of highlighters. So anyway, let's get started and take a look at the swatch review that I have up for you next. I'm about to show you a bunch of highlighters that I have accumulated over the past couple of months. I've been on a hunt for a really good pastel highlighter, and unfortunately it's been a little bit difficult to find exactly the right shade for all of the colors that I'm looking for. So I figured I would show you what I came up with in my hunt. As you can see, I've created this spreadsheet and I have listed all of the highlighters across the top here that I've tested, as well as some highlighters and markers that were not exactly billed as pastel highlighters. Basically, I'm going to show you the process that I use in selecting the stationery that I like to use in my projects. As you can see, I've got colors listed here. I've just printed it out on my laser printer, and I'm going to highlight over each one so that you can see how the colors stand up against each other. So first we have the Dazed-Oh pastel marking pen, which looks a lot like the Mildliners that everybody is all excited about, and I believe it's probably a knockoff of the Mildliners, but this is the Dazed-Oh. I paid $5.49 for this pack, so that comes out to about $1.10 per marker. So let's just try it. So pink is first, and again, you've got a nice chisel tip here, and there's the pink, and then the orange. To me, these feel a little bit dry, and it makes me wonder how long the ink will actually last, because they're not a very wet ink at all. And here's the green. I was actually really disappointed with the green because it kind of looks blue to me. Green's kind of an important color in my process of bullet journaling, so they are definitely pastel. I'm a little concerned about the fact that they're dry already to begin with and they're brand new, but not a bad color choice overall. So then the next one, if you haven't been able to figure this out, we're going alphabetically so that I don't give preferential treatment. These are the Frixion erasable highlighters by Pilot, and they actually are very erasable. Let me just show you here. So pink, and I can erase it with the little eraser at the end, and it completely goes away. So very cool feature on those. So let's take a look at the pink. And there is no orange in this pack, so we're skipping straight to yellow. And the green. I actually find that these are a little bit chalky. It feels like it causes the ink underneath of it to fade to a gray instead of a dark black. I don't mind that feature at all. And again, these are not quite as pastel as the previous one, but I like the looks of these, and the green again is a much better true green. The blue seems really dark to me, but overall very good. Alright, so Ionic two-way pastel pen. These were $7. By the way, those Frixion ones I paid $7.69. It comes out to $1.54 per pen. And I'm going to provide you with these Amazon links as well in case you need to find them. So these are the Ionic two-way Stabilo Future. Who knows? It kind of sounds French. Anyway, it's got a highlighter on one end and a chisel or a pen tip on the other end. So let's try those out. Pink. Actually, let's try the chisel end first. Pink, and that chisel is very small actually compared to normal. I'm just going to write that line underneath here. Whoops. Apparently each cap goes on a specific side. Orange almost looks a little peachy, but let's take a look at orange. And the fine liner. These actually feel a little juicy to me. There is no yellow, so we're going to skip to green. Oh, that's very verdant, isn't it? It's very much like a lime green instead of the green of the other two. And blue. Oh, that's almost turquoise actually. I don't mind it at all. I like turquoise. It's one of my favorite colors. And then purple. Purple actually looks really good. I like the softness of it. So again, those are the Iconic two-way pastel pens. Alright, so next we have the check liner highlighters. I've just got everything up here in little cups, so out of the way of the screen, in case you were wondering what I was doing there. So the check liner, it's called Kit Kat Candy Check Liner Highlighter. Got these on Amazon. They are very chunky. Not something you can just throw in a bag easily because they're such a big footprint. But let's take a look and see how they come out. Just going to check my screen here. It looks like I need to center that a little bit. Alright, pink. These have a nice fat chisel on it, and they are definitely, they're kind of wet, and they definitely have some juice to them. Not dry at all. Orange. Oh, that's very fluorescent, isn't it? And this was billed in the marketing materials as a pastel highlighter. These do not look pastel at all. Yellow. That yellow actually has a little bit of a green tint to it, doesn't it? Green. Hallelujah, we have a green that's actual green. Holy cow. Alright, blue. Oh, that was kind of probably my fault. Let's try that again. No, actually, it must not be my fault, because this looks to have dried out on the top part of that tip. I wonder if I just hadn't been storing it properly, but the top part of the tip is a little dry and the bottom part is wet, so not sure what's up with that. Purple, that's very dark as well. So these are definitely not pastel highlighters at all, and I'm a little concerned about that blue one. When I first got these and tested them out, the blue was working just fine, so it makes me wonder if I had stored it bad or if that's really what you can expect going forward for how these are going to run out. All right, so let's move on to Mon Ami, I don't know, Essenti, Mon Ami Essenti. Let's just be confident about that, right? And these are the soft pastel highlighters. And these actually came in a box of 12. You got 2 colors, 2 pens of each color. And I love that the caps are translucent. It makes everything very sparkly and pretty. All right, so these were $12 for a pack of 12. And if we're counting per color, that comes out to $2.09 per color. But again, about $1 or so per pen, since you're getting 2. All right, let's start with pink. So nice, good sized tip on that. Oh, this is nice. This has this is a little dry, very similar to the first one we did, but I like the softness of it. So orange. That feels very much in the yellow category, but it is soft. All right, yellow. Again, like I said, you could probably hear it actually. These pens are definitely dry, so I'm not sure if that's just the nature of them. Oh man, another one that doesn't know how to do green. I'm so disappointed about green. All right, so blue. Blue and then purple. Oh, that's nice and soft. That's good purple. So those again are the Mon Ami Essenti soft pastel liners. Not bad. And actually a pretty good price too. So, all right, so let's move on to the Muji twin tip highlighter. I hear a lot of people talking about these, so I actually took the plunge and bought these again on Amazon, and they were $5 for 6 colors, which comes out to about 83 cents per color. So let's try, and of course I always have problems figuring out which brand this is because everything is in Japanese. So I guess if you know your products well enough to just know them by sight, that's great, but I had to actually look this up when I put this in order so that I remembered which one. I like that it's got the Clearview tip on it so that you can actually see what you're highlighting. And again, this is twin tip, so we've got 2 ends to this. So, oh, very nice ink flow on that. It's kind of wet and very smooth. And I like the pen tip on that as well. All right, so orange. That's good. It's kind of bright, but I like the way that these feel. These have a good feel to them. And then yellow. This is definitely not a pastel yellow, but I guess that's probably kind of hard to get pastel yellow. Green. All right, green is true green, but definitely not pastel. And let's try the blue. Yeah, these are really good highlighters, but So many people said that these were good pastel highlighters, but honestly, I don't think these are pastel at all. These feel very bright to me. So, all right, so let's move on to the Stabilo Boss pastel highlighters. These are ones that I actually saved till last because I really didn't like the price. Comes out to about $2.58 per highlighter. But so many people were raving about how awesome they were that I finally just took the plunge and did it. So the Stabilo Boss. Again, these actually do have a pretty big footprint as well. I wish that they were smaller. You would need a larger pencil case if you're going to use these. But let's take a look. So, pink. This has a pretty good tip on it. And pink. Oh, very, oh, that feels very much like Dusty Rose to me instead of true pink. It's very, very, it's got a little bit of gray feel to it. Orange, same way, definitely it's got some gray in there. But it is lighter than the others. Alright, so let's try yellow. Yellow feels very dark as well. Green. Wow, these colors are so close together. I had to really look to see which one was the green. Alright, so green. That's actually really good. So far, I think that's my favorite green. It's a good pastel green there. Alright, blue. That's very... Yeah, they all seem to have that, that dusty color to them, dusty shade. They're bright when they're wet, but then as soon as they dry, just a few seconds, it actually turns to a dusty kind of version of that color. I like them. Kind of expensive, but if you like this, not a bad option. So, all right, let's move on. I'm sure that you've seen a ton of reviews for the Zebra Mildliners because that's kind of the craze right now, and this is where this all started for me. I truly was looking for pastel highlighters, and everybody said this was the way to go, so I did. I took the plunge and I bought the full set, all 3 packs. Apparently there's another 4th pack that you have to get either on eBay or somewhere else, but the pack of highlighters actually only comes like this, but so without the purple. But I went to another pack and grabbed the lightest available purple so that I could test it to see if this would work as a highlighter as well. So let's take a look and put these together and see how they stand up against the others. Just move these over here. So pink. And again, these are twin tip. So there is a second tip. You can't hardly tell though, because the tip or the cap on the back side just looks like the barrel of the pen. So a lot of people don't realize that it's twin tip. It's not a super fine tip though. It is a little bit more like a bullet tip pen. So they are actually kind of good with the ink. It doesn't feel very dry, it doesn't feel very wet, kind of in the middle of the rest of them that I've tried so far. That orange is very fluorescent. Oh, but it seems to be drying a little bit more pastel. Fluorescent when it comes out of the pen, but then it dries a little bit lighter. So personally, I don't really love these all that much. And again, we have a green that looks like it's blue. What is up with people? Don't they understand what green is? Green, just go outside and look at your grass. Okay, so let's look at blue. The blue and the green look so close together. They look almost exactly the same to me. That's a problem. All right, so purple. In this purple looks very close to the one that's next to it. Actually, purple seems to be a really good pastel color, except for this one here. But not a bad selection of colors. Personally, I am not thrilled with my purchase on Mildliners. I feel like I gave in to peer pressure, and not super happy with the colors. They're not as great as everybody seems to be raving about. So one of the things that I'm going to actually skip over these two and go straight to Crayola. As people in the Facebook groups are talking about Zebra, Mildliners, and some of the others and looking for recommendations, so often I hear people say, just get Crayola Super Tips. They're fine. They'll work great for you. So I decided to go ahead and do that. I found them at Walmart in the back to school section on clearance, and I bought a pack of 100, which was only $6.67. And then what I did was I went through and I pulled out the most pastel version of each of the colors to test to see if they would work as highlighters. So let's take a look and see how they stand up. And these are the smaller ones. These actually don't stay put. Let me just, here we go. Just stick a paper clip there. Let them not roll away. So these are the smaller of the super tips. There is the fat ones, but this is a good chisel. It's not a chisel tip. It's like a bullet tip. But let's take a look and see how they stand up. So pink, very, very rosy on that one. Orange, this is very much a peach color. Orange, and I'm sure that I could probably go through and test some of the other 100 colors to find the closest option to a highlighter, but I decided to just go blind, and so I picked out what I imagined would be a good pastel highlighter, and then that's what I'm testing. Green, that's very lime green. I love that green color. But they're definitely not opaque. These colors are, or they are opaque. They're not transparent, I should say. The blue actually is pretty good. I could use that blue as a highlighter. All right, so purple. Ooh, that's very much a marker. So that recommendation from the Facebook groups, yeah, not so great. Thanks, but no thanks. It would have been awesome because look at that price, $7 a marker, or 7 cents a marker. Yeah, that would have been great. So let's skip out of the pastel marketing language and see what happens when we do a regular old highlighter. So this is BIC Brite Liners, and they are marketed as bright highlighters. But I want to see how they stand up to all of the rest of them that are marketed as pastel. And these are ones that I actually purchased, but I did have some of these in my stationery stash already. But I wanted a full set, so I bought these. Picked them up at Walmart, but you can also find them on Amazon, and they come out to about 83 cents a piece. So let's just try them and see. I was just curious because these are the highlighters. These and the Sharpie highlighters are what I use all the time. So I wanted to see how they stood up against the pastel versions. Isn't that interesting? So close to some of these others. So let's try the orange. That's definitely bright. That's not going to stand up to a pastel. And that's bright for a yellow. Green, look at that. It's not all that much different than some of these brighter greens. And blue, look at that, very close to the Muji twin tip. And then let's try purple. very much like the check liner, very close to the Mildliners as well. So that was just an interesting experiment to show those side by side. And then I'm going to show you what I've actually been using all along, which is the Sharpie Clearview highlighter. And these are the smear guard version, although I think the smear part depends a lot on which pen you're using. This is the set that I have for these, and this set doesn't come with an orange Sharpie, but I do have this other set that's got an orange in it, so I'm gonna test this as well as part of this. To be honest with you, these two pens right here, this pink and the green, this is what I use. These are my go-to pens right now. This is what I carry with me in my bullet journal. So I wanted to include those in the test as well, just because, you know, I want to see how I stood up with all of the rest of them. So let's try this pink. And again, this does have the clear view, so you can see right straight through that tip to make it easier for highlighting. Pink, look at that, it's almost exactly like the Muji, very much like the Kit Kat, or the Kit Knit. I keep calling it Kit Kat. It's like I want candy or something. All right, so let's try some orange. Whoa, that's very bright. Definitely not in the pastel category. Very fluorescent, although it's very close to the Kit Knit. Again, kind of in the same realm as the Muji and the bright highlighters. So yellow. That yellow is pretty good. I would say that's very close to the Muji, maybe even the check liner. Green. And I think this is the green that I make everybody else stand up against because it's what I use all the time. So I get a true green here. Very close to the Muji. Kind of the check liner. Not that far off from the BIC. Alright, blue. It seems like blue is consistent across the board. Almost all the blues are the same. I wonder if there's just not an opportunity to have something different for blue highlighter. So that's very much in line with everything else. And purple. Wow, what's interesting is this purple is very much in the pink family, and I kind of like it better than some of these true purples. But interesting to see that. So anyway, there's my my swatching of all of the highlighters that I have been testing, and I do have a companion blog post. Oh, hello kitty. Okay, so there we go. That gives you an idea of all of the highlighters that I've been testing lately, and yeah, tell me what your favorites are. What do you use, and which things out of this list are you planning to give a try? Check out the companion blog post that goes along with this. I'll have links for everything, and then I'll also include this worksheet so that you can print this out at home and do your own testing. And then I know this video sometimes doesn't necessarily show true colors, so I will have photos of this swatch page so that you can see a little bit better on true color as well. So thanks a lot for watching. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.